Hello everyone, welcome to this video on simulation of direct and indirect control of pneumatic cylinders. The link to the video where the theoretical concept of direct and indirect control of pneumatic cylinders is discussed is given in the description. I'm using Festo FluidSim software version 4 to simulate the direct and indirect control of pneumatic cylinders in this video. First, let us delve into the user interface of this video for better understanding of the software, and then we will go into the simulation of the foresaid circuits. The Festo FluidSim pneumatic software comes with a library where under hierarchical view, you will find the component library of all the components that are required for building up the circuit. You can see to my left hand side where under pneumatic, you will have supply elements which are nothing but the most commonly used sources of pneumatic compressed air. So starting with compressors, variable compressors, the air service unit, FRL, different types of filters, coolers, lubricators, dryers, and the symbolic representation of these components are presented here under supply elements. You will find the different types of actuators that are used in pneumatic circuits here under the actuators tab. You will find a specific tab for most frequently used cylinders where cylinders like single acting cylinders, double acting cylinders can be picked and dropped from here. There are different types of valves that are used in fluid power systems like direction control valves, flow control valves, and pressure control valves, and you will find configurable direction control valves of different types which you can configure for your own requirement under what kind of actuation that these direction control valves have to have. You can design and configure. And under frequently used valves, you will have mechanically operated DCVs, you have pneumatically operated DCVs, solenoid operated DCVs, which are categorized on their method of actuation. There is a category for shuttle valves and flow control valves. There is a section for pressure control valves and proportional valves and group of valves, and measuring instruments and sensors are all provided. When it comes to electro-pneumatic circuit, the actuators, power supply required for building up electro-pneumatic circuits are all provided under electrical control. You have relays, the electrical sensors and measuring instruments like voltmeter, ammeter, indicator light, pressure sensors, displacement sensors, buzzers, and so on. Different types of relays with the timers, proportional valves, switches that are used for controlling an electro-pneumatic circuit, be it manually operated switches or detent switches, or general form of switches, proximity switches, types of controllers like a comparator, PID controller, or status controllers, and symbolic representation of ladder logic symbols are also provided here, and various logics that can be implemented for digital based control of fluid power circuits can also be obtained. And there are certain miscellaneous elements that are used that can be used for building up your circuit are all provided. So all these elements which are in the component library can be obtained in the hierarchical view under library section. Next, you can build your circuit in a canvas. Can go to file, create new. You will find a new canvas available, which is an area where you can build your circuit. Now, let us start with building a direct control of single acting cylinder circuit. For direct control of single acting cylinder, let us pick and place the symbolic representation of a single acting cylinder. You can double click on the cylinder and get to know what is the specification or the configuration of the cylinder by double clicking on the cylinder. For direct control of a single acting cylinder, we need a DCV which should have one output port, one input port, and one exhaust port. And for that, we will make use of a 3x2 DCV, which will have 3 ports in it and 2 positions in it. The left position is the normally open position and the right position is a normally closed position. A normally open position is one which allows fluid flow through it, and a normally closed position is one which blocks fluid flow through it. As per the nomenclature of the DCB, always port number 1 will be the input port to which the pneumatic source will be connected. Port number 2 or any even number of ports will be connected to the cylinder, and they are nothing but the output ports. And all the other odd numbered ports are meant for exhausting into the atmosphere. So port number 1 will be connected to input compressed air source, port number 2 will be connected to the cylinder, and port number 3 can be connected to an exhaust or a silencer. Port number 3 can be connected to a silencer by double clicking on it and selecting a silencer from the drop down menu. And for direct control of a double acting cylinder, let me choose a manually actuated, a push button actuated spring return DCB. So the symbol that you see here is a push button actuated spring return DCB. Into this DCB, let us connect a compressor source which is connected to the DCB through an air service unit, which consists of a filter, a pressure regulator, and a lubricator, the outlet of which will be connected to the input source of the DCB. So this circuit forms the direct control of a single acting cylinder. In many cases, the air service unit can be represented with its simplified form, which consists of a filter and a regulator. And in place of this air service unit, a simplified form of the air service unit can also be connected. So this circuit is now the circuit which represents the direct control of single acting cylinder. You can click on the play button to start the simulation or press the F9 key for starting the simulation or for executing the circuit that you have just built. So upon starting the simulation, you can see that there is a change in color which represents the flow of fluid. The dark blue colored lines denotes the flow of a fluid where the pressurized or where the compressed air is active. And now you can see from the compressor source through the FRL, compressed air has reached to port number 1, and at port number 1 it is blocked and there is no flow happening through this part of the cylinder from the source to the output. When the manual operator presses the push button of the DCB spool changes its position and it gets connected to the normally closed open position of the DCB. When it is connected through the open position of the DCB, flow happens through this position from port number 1 to port number 2, and air enters into the cap end of this single acting cylinder, which exerts force on the piston, making the piston to extend against the spring force. And this marks the extension stroke of a single acting cylinder. When the actuation of this push button is released, because of the spring force of the DCB will change its position back from normally open to normally closed, which will make the air that is present in the cap end of the cylinder to escape from port 2 atmosphere through port number 3. And this is in fact accompanied by the expansive force of the piston inside the cylinder, as it is not facing an opposition from the compressed air. So as I release this push button, the spring will expand, and as the spring expands, the air present in the cap end of the cylinder will find its way from port number 2 to port number 3. Through port number 3, it gets released into the atmosphere. So this shows the direct control of single acting cylinder. We have an option in FluidSim to Visualize it in slow motion, where under options in simulation, you have an option of setting up a slow motion factor where the simulation can be visualized in slow motion. I have set a slow motion factor of 1:10, and you can visualize how the fluid flow is happening through each and every part of the circuit. Next, we will try to implement direct control of a double acting cylinder. So we will pick and place a double acting cylinder here. You can see a double acting cylinder consists of two ports, one at the cap end, the other at the rod end. In order to control a double acting cylinder by direct means, we will require a 5x2 DCV, and a manually actuated 5x2 DCV can be a push button actuated DCV or a detent switch, and I am taking a 5x2 push button actuated detent DCV, and you can see that this DCV consists of five ports. Port number 1 will be the input port to which compressed air supply will be connected, and odd numbered ports 3 and 5 will be meant for connecting it to the exhaust or to open up into the atmosphere. Port number 2 and 4 will be the output ports of this DCV, which will be connected to the corresponding port of the cylinder. And this DCV is actuated by a push button with a detent operation, which means when the DCV is actuated, it will try to retain in that position unless it is actuated otherwise again to release from that position. So I will connect the cap end of the cylinder port, cap end port of the cylinder to port number 4 of the DCV, and rod end port of the cylinder to port number 2 of the DCV. And I will connect port number 1 to the compressed air source, which we have just created in the previous circuit. Either we can use a compressed air source from the previous circuit or create a separate compressor source in this. Now let me run the simulation, and you can see that the air supply that is coming from the compressor passes through the filter, and it is readily available at port number 1. And out of the two positions of this DCV, the right hand position allows flow from port number 1 to 2, whereas the left hand position allows flow from port 1 to 4. So now, as flow is entering from port 1 to 2, compressed air will enter into the cylinder from the rod end, and air will be occupied in the rod end volume of the cylinder, keeping the cylinder in its default unactuated position, that is nothing but the retracted position of the cylinder. Now, if I have to actuate the cylinder or make it extend, the DCV switch will be actuated, and as the DCV switch is actuated, the spool of the DCV shifts, and the left hand side position will be connected, which allows compressed air to flow from port number 1 to port number 4. It will enter into the cap end of the cylinder. The compressed air will now exert force on the piston, which will make the cylinder to extend. Now, as I release this as I release the push button actuation, now because only of the spring force of the DCV, the right hand position of the DCV will now be connected, which will now make the compressed air to enter into the rod end, unlike the single acting cylinder, where in single acting cylinder, the retraction will just happen because of the spring force and escaping of air from the cylinder. Whereas in a double acting cylinder, retraction will happen by air that is supplied to the rod end of the cylinder and escaping of cap end air out of the cylinder. You can see that air flows from port number 2 into the rod end of the cylinder. It exerts pressure, and the air that is occupied in the cap end of the cylinder comes out. So this circuit gives a simplest representation, gives a simple direct control of double acting cylinder. Next, we will simulate the indirect control of single acting and double acting cylinder. For indirect control of single acting and double acting cylinder, the DCV, the main DCV which controls the cylinder should be remotely actuated. So for that reason, I'll again take a single acting cylinder here. I will take a pilot actuated DCV, which is a 3x2 DCV. So I'll take a 3x2 pilot actuated spring return DCV here. And now this acts as a main valve where I will connect the port of the cylinder to port number 2 of the DCV. The actuation of this DCV actually happens through this pilot port, which requires a compressed air at low pressure line to shift the spool of the DCV to cause it to actuate. And in order to create that indirect actuation, I'll take a 3x2 push button actuated spring return DCV. The source of this DCV will be connected to the compressed air source. And the output of this DCV will be connected to the pilot port. Now, this push button actuated 3x2 DCV act as a remote control which controls the main spool of the DCV which actuates the cylinder, thereby indirectly controlling the cylinder's actuation. Now, this cylinder will also require air supply, and which can be given either, because it is a simulation environment, either you can give it through a separate air source or you can make use of the same air supply unit itself. Okay. So now this part of the circuit will now represent the indirect control of single acting cylinder. So let me run the simulation. Now when I press the start button of this 3x2 DCV, now air supply comes from this DCV through port number 2. It actuates the pilot port. This causes the main DCV to shift its spool to normally open position. Now this normally open position will allow the flow from this compressed air source into the cylinder. And now the cylinder will be extending. When I release this push button, because of the spring force of this DCV, the control DCV will be shifted to normally closed position, cutting off the pilot supply into this pilot actuated 3x2 DCV. And once the pilot port signal is cut off, because of the spring action of this pilot DCV, the DCV will connect to the normally closed position, and because of the spring force of this single acting cylinder, air escapes out of the cabin, causing the cylinder to retract. So this is indirect control of single acting cylinder. As can be seen, the single acting cylinders can be used, indirect control of single acting cylinder can be used for long distance control, where the operator controlling the cylinder can be located in a remote location and the main valve that controls the DCV can be located inside or near the cylinder itself. For indirect control of a double acting cylinder, let me pick up a double acting cylinder and a pilot actuated 5x2 DCV with spring return. I'll connect port 4 to cap N, port 2 to rod N. The air supply will be connected to the compressor, and a same 3x2 push button DCV will be used for controlling the actuation of this DCV remotely. And now as I actuate the push button of the remote DCV, the pilot supply will go into the DCV spool, shifting its position, making the cylinder to extend. Now as I release, the pilot port supply will be cut off because of the spring position changing. Because of the spring, the DCV position will change and cause the cylinder to retract. And this is the indirect control actuation of a double acting cylinder. As can be seen here, all the 4 circuits: direct control of single acting cylinder, direct control of double acting cylinder, indirect control of single acting cylinder, and indirect control of double acting cylinder are all built here and explained. Please refer to the video on theoretical explanation of the features of direct and indirect control of pneumatic cylinders for further details. Thank you. Happy learning.